Imagine making $250,000 every single year. What does your life look like? You probably picture absolute financial freedom. You picture stress-free vacations, fully funded retirement accounts, and never looking at the price tag in a grocery store. But what if I told you that for a massive percentage of Americans, hitting that dream salary is exactly what bankrupts them? Today, we are going to dissect a psychological trap so deceptive it destroys the lives of doctors, lawyers, and highly paid tech executives. It's a silent financial disease that forces people making six figures to secretly live paycheck to paycheck, completely terrified of missing just 1 month of work. In this video, we are going to look at the exact, brutal math of how an American family earning $250,000 a year end up with zero savings and $85,000 in credit card debt. And more importantly, I will show you the exact psychology behind their mistakes and the painful steps you must take to avoid this golden cage. If you want to understand how to actually keep the wealth you build, you need to hear this story. Meet Marcus. Now, let me introduce you to the man who lived this nightmare. We'll call him Marcus. At 38 years old, Marcus had seemingly achieved the ultimate American dream. He was promoted to a senior executive position at a mid-sized tech company in Seattle. If you drove past his 5-bedroom house, saw the 2 pristine European SUVs in the driveway, and looked at his children's private school uniforms, you would think Marcus was rich. You would think he had it all figured out. But behind the closed doors of that beautiful home, Marcus was suffocating. Every night, he would sit in his expensive home office, staring at spreadsheets, trying to figure out how $250,000 simply vanished every 12 months. To understand his collapse, we have to look at how his mindset shifted over a decade. The "I deserve it" mentality. When Marcus first graduated from college, he was making $50,000 a year. He lived in a modest apartment, drove a 10-year-old Toyota, and actually saved 15% of his income. But as his career progressed, his salary grew. $80,000, then $120,000, then $180,000. With every promotion, a psychological shift occurred. When he hit 6 figures, he told himself, "I work 50 hours a week in a high-stress job. I shouldn't be driving a beat-up Toyota. I deserve a nice car." So he financed a BMW. The monthly payment was $800, but he could technically afford it. Then came the house. They moved to a wealthy suburb with top-rated schools. The mortgage was massive, taking up almost 40% of his take-home pay. But the real trap wasn't the house itself. It was the neighborhood. In behavioral economics, this is called the Diderot Effect. Obtaining a new expensive possession creates a spiral of consumption. Your new house makes your old furniture look cheap. You finance a $10,000 living room set. Your neighbors are hiring landscapers, so you do too, to fit in. Marcus wasn't buying yachts. His money was bleeding out through 1,000 tiny cuts: $200 country club dinners, $400 for kids' sports, $5,000 for a Hawaii vacation because everyone else in the office went. Before he knew it, his expenses had silently expanded to consume every single dollar of his massive income. The golden cage. At $250,000 a year, after federal and state taxes, Marcus's actual take-home pay was around $13,500 a month. Let's look at the brutal math. Mortgage and property taxes, $5,500. 2 luxury SUV payments and insurance, $1,800. Private childcare, $2,500. Utilities and maintenance, $1,000. Just by waking up in the morning, Marcus was burning $10,800 a month. That left him with $2,700 for food, gas, clothing, entertainment, and unexpected expenses for a family of 4. It wasn't enough. When a high-income earner runs out of cash, their ego won't let them cut back. They turn to plastic. "I'll pay it off with my end-of-year bonus," Marcus rationalized. But the bonus came, property taxes went up, the roof needed repairs, and the credit card balance ballooned to $85,000. He was trapped in a golden cage. terrified of losing his job, working 60-hour weeks. If he got fired, he wouldn't survive 2 months before the bank took his house. The stress was destroying his health. He was living exactly like he did when he made $50,000. Only now, the stakes were devastating. Then, the inevitable happened. During an industry downturn, his company announced a 20% pay cut for all executives to avoid layoffs. That 20% cut didn't just hurt his pride. It completely broke his financial survival model. The math no longer worked. He was drowning, breaking the illusion. Marcus had a panic attack in his driveway, looking at the 2 BMWs he couldn't afford. He finally broke down and confessed everything to his wife. They spent 3 days crying, arguing, and looking at the horrifying reality of their bank statements. They had to make a choice: continue the illusion until bankruptcy, or destroy their social status to save their lives. They chose the painful pivot. First, the cars went. They sold both luxury SUVs at a loss, taking a massive hit to their ego, and bought 2 reliable used Hondas in cash. Their neighbors stared. The whispers at the country club started immediately, but Marcus stopped caring. Then came the hardest part. They put the dream house on the market. They downsized to a modest 3-bedroom house in a middle-class neighborhood, cutting their mortgage payment in half. They canceled the country club, the organic grocery delivery, and the private school, moving their kids to a highly rated public school instead. By slashing their massive overhead, that $250,000 salary finally started acting like wealth. They threw an aggressive $5,000 a month at the credit card debt. It took 2 grueling years, but they finally paid off the $85,000 balance. For the first time in a decade, Marcus slept through the night. He wasn't rich on paper anymore, but he was finally free. The true definition of wealth. Marcus's story teaches us a fundamental truth that society actively tries to hide from you. Wealth is not the cars you drive, the zip code you live in, or the brand of clothes you wear. Those are just the things you traded your wealth for. True wealth is the money you haven't spent yet. It's the emergency fund that lets you sleep at night. It's the investments that buy back your time. When your income grows, it is completely natural to want to upgrade your life. But you have to protect the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Because the moment your lifestyle catches up to your paycheck, you stop being the master of your money and you become its prisoner. If you find yourself on this treadmill of lifestyle creep, take a hard look at your expenses today. Make the painful choices now, before the market makes them for you. I'm Adam. Every single story has massive value and the power to help others. If you want to share your financial story, please reach out to me via email. Subscribe to learn from their past and protect your future. See you next time.